it might just be put it back in line. It might be the efforts to tame things. I don't know, but I don't think much will change.
And Michael, a direct answer to your question, Laura did address this today, and they said it would not affect their ability to issue cards to patients or caregivers, and it will not affect their licensing application for the medical marijuana licensing facilities. So,
there was a point
Mr. Harm.
Okay.
Harn.
Very good. Okay. That's interesting. That gives a little argument, some entrapment by estoppel if it's necessary. There was a time, and it was, I believe it was before the Obama administration, but there was that where there were several states that had taken steps to try to legislate state programs, kind of like what Michigan has done now, and there was some letters, Matt, maybe you remember this, Paul, Brad, either of you, but that, like they'd spent several years between 2008 and 2010 or whatever trying to create some, trying to create some comprehensive legislation for state-run dispensaries, and then the U.S. attorneys in those states sent letters saying, if you do that, we are going to charge your state employees with crimes. Remember this taking place?
Oh, yeah, that was way back. That was, 2009 or something like that, 2010.
Right, and there were some states that actually backed off. Some states like, screw you, or we've put all this time and we're doing it anyway. Some amended their laws. Washington State comes to mind. There's one on the East Coast also, I want to say, that implemented it nonetheless. But that's the kind of threatening stuff that they were doing. I mean, you could see something like that. That's not outside of the pale of, some threatening. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I guess we would know about that, right?
Well, and that's more of a direct threat rather than just showing of teeth. I think it's a little different, but I think the pushback, and you're starting to see it from Colorado. I was speaking earlier, but the amount of pushback, you're not going to get a whole lot of, I don't think Colorado, California, Washington, Oregon, I don't think any of those states are really going to change course. I think those are the states that are going to defend their citizens. Those are the kind of states that you would expect to file lawsuits and expect to be, out about the issue. Whereas, again, we don't have the AG for that here in Michigan. We don't have, we're not there yet to where it's such a, we're defending the voters' rights like those states are.
Even though it has no meaning.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Michael. Senator Cory Gardner from Colorado got on the Senate floor today and just ripped Sessions and Trump up one side and down the other. He claims that they lied to him, basically, for doing this. They assured him that they wouldn't. So, I think there's going to be, significant political blowback, too. Beyond what you've already seen, I think Tom Angel from the Marijuana Moment published a great compilation of responses, and, it's tough, and it's furious.
I guess this might be like I was saying earlier. It's the impetus. It's going to be the impetus for a lot of activism and a lot of pushback, because now it's back in the papers. It's back at the forefront.
And it's even more of a reason, as Matt said, for legislative action. I mean, that's really what it calls for. It is the only solution. I have a concern, even though it is not a logical concern. Maybe some of you guys from stories and from cases that we've had, gentlemen, Shiler's in the room, and Ellen, Chad knows, where this just somehow creates a little bit of extra confusion for the drug task force to do some shit. You know what I mean? Like oh, Sessions said blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like, there's no legal meaning, but it's just like, blah, 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 blah. Like just some other crap.
So we don't have to count plants anymore.
Right. Something, I don't know.
Weigh any of this. This is all illegal now.
There's no, legal buried on it.
I'm going to pee in your refrigerator now.
It's like Jane Markey said, wet flowers are usable marijuana, so now your plants are usable marijuana.
That's a dissenting opinion.
Dissent. You have to think about that.
Yeah, we had a dissent in the first Roquefort opinion. That was
all right. Final thoughts, because Jim Powers wants to wrap it up. Final thoughts for anyone that has any on this topic, so we can put it to rest at least until tomorrow. Matt Abel, final thoughts.
Well, let's all do a full court press on Congress. I think this is the perfect time to do it.
Absolutely.
Let's legalize it.
Yeah, push back. Don't stop what you're doing.
And I'll follow up on what Matt said. I think we have to engage our federal legislators at this point. I know that National Normal has put out an alert. Michigan Normal has relayed that alert to our Facebook. You know, I know that we've had hundreds of letters sent right here from Michigan as a result of that. So, you know, let's keep that pressure on. Let's do what we can, but. I think that let's relax. Let's take some deep breaths here and kind of see what's going to happen and take up some measured responses. If we see some raids. Otherwise, it looks like it's business as usual with a different set of words.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Did everyone get a final thought, Paul? Did you get your sense?
Yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. Nothing's changed, but it's going to light a fire under a lot of people's asses to get the right thing done, which is turn up the heat on those that can actually do something about it.
All right. There you have it. Thank you, gentlemen, for calling in. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and I appreciate you offering your thoughts on this very interesting topic. So have a great night, and we look to hear from you guys down the road. Thank you very much for calling in.
Thank
you, Mike.
All right. Have a good night.
Take care.
My final thought on
Thank you, guys.
Take care, guys.
My final thought on the night is that if you have a marijuana problem, call Comorn Law, 800-656-3557.
Thank you. Alan is not paid. All right. Any final thoughts within the studio? Charlotte's been kind of quiet. Is there a Federalist position here? No. Of course not. No. Of course not, because it depends on what happens, and then they'll decide if it's a Federalist position afterwards. Anyways, next thing.
I'll go on the record as what's going to happen.
What's going to happen?
We're going to be in purgatory for 11 months until the election. Nothing's going to be done, and more people will be arrested than had this not happened. Yeah. This is bad.
That is exactly what's going to happen.
It's actually been obvious ever since Trump took over.
Take the mic.
It's been obvious ever since Trump took over. Ever since Trump took over, law enforcement has been emboldened. Period. And this is just a further pronouncement.
Really
There's been Ways and Means Committee in Congress has been working towards eliminating Rohrabacher from. I mean, this is a concerted effort against marijuana.
Just ring the Jeopardy sound.
It's Jim. He's being mean. You just gotta go. Are you laughing at least?
Yeah.
Did you have a good time? Okay, good. All right.
That means wrap it up. You got 30 seconds.
Sorry. Wrap it up.
Jim's calling us. Your last word doesn't matter.
I'm on record now that this is bad.
Okay. Oh my God. That's not that. All right, very good. So we're going to call it right there. This has officially been show number 374. Thanks everyone for listening. And Jamie Lowell, do you have any final thoughts? Hey, Jamie Lowell, let's give you. Stop that, please. Put the sun over you.
Jamie Lowell, final thoughts.
Yes. More than ever, let's get behind Dana Nessel. Make sure she becomes our next
Say it again?
general in the state of Michigan.
Dana Nessel. Right. If any of this stuff that we're talking about, defending the people of the state of Michigan is going to happen, it's still not going to be Bill Schuette or Patrick Miles or blah blah blah.
It's not going to be Patrick Miles. He'll be citing the Sessions memo.
Patrick Miles is Schuette light.
I don't know how light he is. I feel like those guys.
What really is disgusting? I'm going to tell you what's really disgusting. That under no circumstances would Jeff Sessions support this memorandum as a Alabama senator or attorney general there. If Alabama had some law that the federal government now said they can't do anymore, they'd be going crazy in Alabama. He'd be leading the charge. He would have sued the damn federal government in our state, You know what I mean? Like, this is...
If it was over religion?
What?
If it was over
whatever. Pick
Not
an
if it's
issue.
over marijuana.
Pick
He
an
doesn't
issue
like
that they
marijuana.
make is lawful in the state of Alabama that the federal government might take issue with. If it was the other way around...
Marrying 13-year-olds.
State law, I'm saying, is the Republican battle cry. States' rights are not. Southern Republicans. I'm sorry, I disagree with you. You think it's what's a Democratic issue?
No one's honestly sticking up for states' rights.
They don't know what it means.
No one's honestly. Okay, fine. That may be true.
It's because of all the Federalists.
Who traditionally
would like it to happen where like states had rights, but that doesn't exist.
The 10th Amendment is
why? Because there's states' rights until some federal court. Right. You have states' rights until some federal court tells you otherwise. Right.
My 9th and 10th Amendment arguments will never fly in federal court ever.
Why not?
Because Robert Bork said in 1987 that there's an ink blot. This stuff doesn't matter.
I can't think the 10th Amendment could be any clearer, saying that the powers not delegated to the federal government are reserved to the states.
There's the last time we've had a 10th Amendment decision like dealt with like eminent domain issues with coastline. Like that was the last time that the 10th Amendment's been invoked successfully, and that was like 15 years ago. Like, it's not. I want it to be better, but it's not.
What about the
9th Amendment jurisprudence is just not good for us. That's where I come from.
Yeah. It's time to wrap this up. It's starting to get depressing.
Like breaks, they have completely say we can completely
play the Jeopardy theme song.
The Jeopardy theme song was lighthearted and fun.
I wish they would.
This is not lighthearted at all.
It's kind of like the way I felt about the Second Amendment, that it wasn't being litigated.
Chad, tell us something lighthearted.
Yeah.
How about this? I'll tell you the statute. A certain
Jefferson
aspect.
Sessions is a dickhole.
How about the Third Amendment?
Quarter? Give no quarter. That has to do with you shouldn't be forced to quarter soldiers.
Restrictions on the quartering of soldiers or SWAT teams or militarized police forces or people that are driving around tanks and have grenade launchers and military equipment and AK-47s and M80s.
It just says they can't be forced to quarter them in your house. That you can't if they don't have barracks.
And they get in your house without
says
consent. They make you sit there. That's forbidding the practice in peacetime.
No, that just says that you can't.
I'm reading it to you. It's underused.
No. That's just make them pitch a tent on your front lawn.
Is there a decision that says otherwise? Pitch a tent. They're there for 6 hours. They piss on your floor.
Yeah,
they take over. They take over the. Let me put it this. They take over the scent of your bathroom. That's like.
I don't want to know
squatting.
about the scent of anything.
Taking over your vibrators too, but they're doing that under a search warrant. They're not using the Third Amendment.
Multiple men dropping deuces in their toilet.
All right, this whole thing is degrading quickly.
I heard they don't drop the deuces in the toilet. They drop them in your bed.
I heard they don't drop the deuces in the toilet. They drop them in your bed.
Hold on. By the way.
They're like gorillas.
Historically, the Third Amendment has been considered the runt piglet of the U.S. Constitution. To date, it has never been the primary basis of the Supreme Court decision ever, okay? So don't tell me, Alan, you're relying on some shit. I'm invoking the Third fucking Amendment now.
Nope.
That's the new path.
No.
And that's the path. That's the path to...
I promise I'll never make you house soldiers in your house.
No.
They'll never have to sleep over.
How nice of you.
I'm saying the things that are taking place, these raids and the takeover for a certain period of time, just to steal your property or whatever, and to take down and like arrest people and keep them so they get confessions out of them. And
But
just
that has
get
nothing to
torture.
do with the Third Amendment. It has to do with the search warrants, and the search warrants based on violations of the Controlled Substances Act.
Word.
You're so literal.
But again, violating the Third Amendment. You're telling me about some Controlled Substance Act bullshit that doesn't supersede the Third Amendment. What's wrong with you? Read that. See, he's giving
Read that book, Alan.
Okay,
support.
I got a book here to read.
Textualism.
I'll read it.
That's your 9th and 10th Amendment lesson.
Okay, Alan.
Shaler, how do I fall in the federal interpretation of this? Say,
Like the federal interpretation.
I don't know. It's never been litigated, so you can't fucking rely. You can't rely on anything. There's nothing. There's nothing you can. I mean, it's all speculative. Whatever it is.
Everything has risks.
Yep.
All right. So what do we learn tonight?
We learned.
We never heard from Jeff Frazier. That's disappointing.
Jeff did not call in,
and
which is unfortunate.
But he's on the road, and we miss him and wish him well. He
just texted me.
He queued up a lot of stuff for us to talk about tonight, and I think I don't know. I don't think he. I think he was more in the